Hi, and welcome to General Meeting. I'm Becky Slobiter. My guest today is Taylor Misiak. She's an incredible actress, super funny, so charming, currently starring opposite Denis Leary in the sitcom Going Dutch on Fox. And she was also part of the incredible cast of the show Dave, Lil Dicky's show on FX a few years back that got me through the pandemic. And she is just a gem of a human, as you will see from our hang. I am also wearing my Saquon jersey in her honor. She was not born and raised in Philly, but she might as well have been. She is a huge Eagles fan, married into it to some degree, as you'll hear us talk about. And we also talk about her path to becoming an actor, the ups and downs of that, the feast or famine nature of it. And she's on such an amazing trajectory right now. So it was really exciting to talk to her in this moment. We were joined by a very special guest who also had something to wear. And you'll see that in a moment. Spoiler alert, it's a dog. So I was beside myself with happiness. And lastly, I know Taylor because we did meet at a general meeting, but she was also one of the cast members of my favorite movie of all time that is going to be coming out in a few months. We just learned the release date for our movie Let's Have Kids, which is April 24th. Mark your calendars. We can't wait for this movie to come out into the world. So we talked a lot about that and are so excited we finally have our release date. So please enjoy this episode. And it was just such a fun hang. She is a delight of a human. See you next week. Taylor Misiak.
Hi.
Welcome to General Meeting with Becky Slobiter. I could not be more excited that you are here for 1,000 reasons, and we will get to all of them. But let's first, this is a monumental episode for many reasons. Yeah. I'm wearing my Saquon jersey.
Yeah.
Your dog, Fredo, amazing name, Godfather.
Thank you.
Obviously.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Is also joining me in his Birds fandom in his jersey. And it's the first time we've also had a dog on the podcast. To have a dog in my house is like the happiest thing in the world to me. You also, though, have a very special connection, and I am loving.
So I'm rocking my Sixers shirt because I'm very excited about the Sixers right now, and that felt like where I am like presently. I also brought a really cool vintage coat that I got from John Supply. I have to show it off.
Oh my God!
Okay. So
I've
also
heard
summer
rumors.
and January.
Yeah, I've heard rumors about this coat and that it exists. I have never seen it in person.
It's so gorgeous.
For
I
those
wore this at the Super Bowl.
You were at that game?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Please.
Were you not?
I was not.
That's criminal.
Not only was I not, I was here hosting a Super Bowl party because my husband is a Kansas City Chiefs fan. So I was the only Birds fan we had 30 people here. And obviously that game was also, it wasn't close. It wasn't like a good.
It wasn't, honey.
I remember Matt turning to our nephew Waylon at one point and going, I just want you to know, this is the worst game of football that's ever been played. And I'm like, it was so amazing. So I was like, I'll never make that mistake again if I need to be with Eagles fans.
Yes.
Correct.
You should have been with us, with your people.
Wait, you were there.
Oh, we were there. So we had a bit of I call it our first manic marriage episode.
And this is you and your new husband at the time, Tony Ascenda, the great writer, director, filmmaker, brain behind so many incredible comedy. And really, like, I don't even want to just put him in that box, but he's also like just so incredibly funny.
Yes.
American Vandal, the new Glenn Powell show, Chad Powers. Dave, we'll get to all this.
Sure.
But Tony, who I love and I've worked with, and I couldn't be a bigger fan, is also, and this is why I have my Mary Easttown mug, he is one of Delco's finest, right?
Yes, very
He's
much
from
so.
Westchester?
He's from Downingtown, which is in Exton, which
we
is
used to play them. Yeah. Okay.
So and it keeps going. But and his family still lives there, and I have been just adopted with welcome, warm arms from the Philly community. And we have been living there bi-coastally for the past couple years.
Wait, I don't know this information.
Yes.
You have?
Yes. So
are you living in Downingtown?
No, we live in Philadelphia. We live
Center City?
Yeah, in Center City.
Stop it right now.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to have you put your address on
I know,
this
I doxed
podcast.
myself.
We will. Exactly.
But I do live in Center City.
Oh my
I get
God.
the SEPTA to games. We're season ticket Sixers holders.
I have full chills.
Yeah, we're living the dream. We're living the dream.
Truly, like, you figured it out. This is amazing. And then he directed said, I remember us texting when he directed the Jason Kelsey Buffalo Wild Wings commercial. And I feel like he sent me a photo from like the view of Center City from the production office or something. And I was like, what is your life? Like to be such a fan and also be able to intersect it that way.
Yeah.
Unreal.
With your dream job. Not only get to work with an absolute idol, Jason Kelsey, who he worships, then to also work in his favorite city in the world, to also be doing his dream job of directing and pitching jokes and all of this. The man also loves Buffalo Wild Wings.
I mean,
we both love Buffalo Wild Wings. So all of this, it was just like an embarrassment of riches.
Truly. So you were born in San Francisco.
Yes.
And then did you grow up in the Bay Area?
I have like never really had a hometown because I moved around so much growing up.
Okay.
I was born in the Bay Area. I lived in San Francisco, San Jose until I was about 10. Then I lived in Oklahoma for a couple years.
Oh, wow.
I lived in New England for a couple years. And then I graduated high school in Apple Valley, Minnesota.
Okay.
So I couldn't really be claimed by any one place, and every place had its unique qualities.
And you couldn't really claim a sports team in a real way until you met Tony Ascenda?
Yeah, well, in a way. So I was raised by an insane sports fan. I'm named after Lawrence Taylor.
I do know this information.
I comforted my father when, we were about to get married, and I was like, look, he's not a Cowboys fan. We can all agree that that's great. We got married in November of 24. And because we have an apartment in Philly, we were like, obviously we're going to be in Philly. We'll host a party for the Super Bowl. We bought supplies, everything. And about a week before, Tony came home from a walk. And I could just tell like something was a buzz. And he was like, look, there's an article that the tickets are the cheapest they've been in 6 years because the Chiefs has gone before and the Philly's gone before and they're small markets. And I think we should be considering going. And I'm like, well, we're throwing a party. We couldn't do it. As I'm opening my laptop to look up hotels, I'm like, we couldn't possibly. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, airfare, hotels. And we're like, well, we just got married and we don't have any like kids, or we could just go. Like we could cancel. Everybody who's coming to the party are Birds fans. Like they'll understand. In fact, they could still party at our apartment. Like they could still have a party.
Within 7 seconds, you've justified it
everything.
And bought the tickets.
And we were just going around the apartment and going crazy. And because it was a week before, we got the last hotel room. And we joke, but it's also serious, that we knocked a city off of our honeymoon to go do
100%. Listen,
no regrets. The happiest I've ever seen him in my entire life.
Truly.
It was truly our honeymoon. It was so spectacular.
I'm trying to remember who it was. We have some mutual friend who was at your wedding and was like, I mean, of course, it was like the greatest wedding of all time.
Well, was it All Roads Lead to Adam Shapiro?
Maybe. All roads do lead to Adam.
He was at our wedding.
Love it.
We, of course, had to have Shappy Pretzels catering our wedding. And he came and did it himself.
Oh, yes, correct.
Which was so spectacular. Our last song of the night was Meek Mill, of course, Dreams and Nightmares. Before that was Robin, the Philly song, Dancing on My Own. And he came from the little pretzel thing and came out and was dancing with us on the dance floor.
Unbelievable. I love it.
So amazing. And he was such a celebrity for not only the LA people who know him, but then everybody who flew in from PA.
Yeah. Oh, I mean.
It was like he was the star of the wedding.
I'm so happy for him and all of his success and like what a fixture he is now.
Yeah.
Exactly, on both coasts.
Yeah.
You also feel like you have taken on Philly. You moved around a lot as a kid, which like that must have been challenging in many respects, but also leads to a really smooth adult life for you.
Sure it does. Your girl can adapt, all that jazz.
Exactly.
Well, and I always knew like I loved living in New England the most. I have a real California constitution. I love like everything to be 70 degrees all the time.
Yes.
However, I loved the community and the people and the feelings and like everything that living in New England and the East Coast, and I went to college in New York, like all of that felt really true to me. So when Tony and his family started to really envelop me, I also have a very small family. It's a huge Italian family.
Yes. It
just felt so right. And then when we were talking about getting an apartment there, everybody here would joke like, oh my God, that guy has brainwashed you. And I'm like, has he? I think I'm brainwashing him. I love it.
Beyond.
And it's a really healthy, like obviously we're exceptionally privileged, but it's such a really good, healthy balance from here.
But being out here, having successful careers in Hollywood, and then having the just like grounded down to earth balance and being able to go back and forth. Like, you didn't have to decide, like, okay, I think we live here now
Yeah,
fully.
not yet.
No.
But that's, not yet. But that's
Great place to
also,
raise kids. I'm just saying.
that's also in the mix. Honestly, it's impossible for me to not be consumed by, because look, I grew up a Giants fan and a Yankees fan and all of this, but like, it sounds so cheesy, but the community there is so magical and fun and contagious. And I've been there when things are bad and when things are good. And it's just a way that makes me feel connected. And I feel
100%.
connected in different ways here too. I love California, I love Los Angeles, but it's pretty incomparable to the Philly community.
I mean, it's as if I teed you up to say that and gave you a script, because
I know.
it is really true. Like, I love living in California. And also, there is nothing like Philly. Did you see, I think it came out either this morning or yesterday, the 30 for 30 Philly special episode that's going to be on ESPN? It premieres next Friday. So your episode's going to come out, I think, a few days after that. So it will have premiered. Friday, February 6th, 30 for 30, about the Philly special from Super Bowl 52. The trailer for it, like, I was like vibrating all morning. It obviously is set to Motown Philly, and it says something like, if you want to understand Philadelphia, you have to understand the Eagles. And if you want to understand the Eagles, you have to understand the Philly special.
Beautiful.
And it really,
Beautiful.
exactly as you were saying, the identity, the close-knit community, like the privilege that we have had of having this team, of having this man join this team.
What a gift.
Saquon forever. But so many. I mean, they're just, I love them so much.
No, it's their, I would take a bullet for them. It's unhealthy. It's the highs and lows of it are what life's about. And I
Yes.
love it. Also, Philadelphia is the best food scene
Oh my
in
God.
the country. Like,
Get
it's
out of here,
true.
right?
It's just true.
I know.
And I know a lot of people will come for me for that, but then the people who know.
My old assistant when I was at Miramax, Sammy, who had been my intern years ago, I've known her forever. I love her so much. Her uncle is Mark Vetri. That I know. And for my birthday last year, she had him like make a video for me. I literally think he was standing in 30th Street Station, which was like also like the coziest hug. Okay. For everyone not based in Philadelphia still listening to this, we're going to talk about some other things. I first saw you on the incredible show Dave. Speaking of famous Philadelphians, Dave Bird, Lil Dicky, he is actually from the town right next to where I grew up. So I'm from Abington.
Cheltenham?
He's from Cheltenham. I think he went to Camp Quebec, which was the overnight camp that I went to. Abby Jacobson,
Yes,
we
he
talked
did
about
go to
this.
that one. Yep.
And so I don't think we overlapped. I think he's a lot younger than I am. But I remember I was like, who is that? When you were playing Allie on Dave, that wasn't actually your very first gig, and it wasn't when you first met him either.
No, I had been doing theater and community theater and school plays and everything my whole childhood, and then was fortunate enough to go to Ithaca College for acting. Very much thought I still wanted to do theater and wanted to move to New York, but then during those few years with some guidance from professors and observing my fellow students in the program, I was like, maybe TV is like a better fit for me. And moved to Los Angeles like the week I graduated with my best friend. We both drove our cars and caravanned out here. Slept on the floor in like a filthy, flea-ridden apartment in NoHo for next to nothing, and did the whole thing. For the first 5 years I was out here, I would book like a job a year that was significant. I would get a word on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I would get a sentence on About a Boy. Like the little things that would make me feel like I wasn't doing the wrong thing.
I know. And it's such even your wording, right? It hits me because I think as women, we think about that a lot, right? Like, are we going to get in trouble? Are we doing something wrong? Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. There were moments where I was terrified about how broke I was, like absolutely terrified, but never a moment where I thought, should I be doing something else? Which was a real gift that really helped in those times. And then fortunately, I've had so many lucky breaks. And one of those casting directors in the middle of the 5-year hustle was working. I was really targeting Funny or Die and College Humor. I was like, give me sketches. I needed footage. I'd only done theater. And did a great workshop with her. She emailed me, I don't recall how much longer later, it felt like months, and said, not sure if you're familiar with who Lil Dicky is, but I'm casting a music video for his song Pillow Talking and would love to bring you in.
Were you familiar?
I was so familiar.
Oh, you were such a fan.
It's so
I love that.
spooky because when I moved, the week I moved to LA, Let Me Freak dropped,
Uh-huh.
which Tony Yasenda directed.
Full chills. Full chills.
Obviously, Dave is starring in it. It's the same
That's
style
crazy.
of what Pillow Talking was going to be and is, which is a lip syncing along with the rap. And my best friend and I, Georgie, who moved here together, joked. Our joke is always, "Where was I that day?"
Yeah.
When you see a role you really would have been perfect for, you're like, I'm sorry, was I busy? Where was I that day?
Hello.
The week I moved there, didn't even have an apartment. I remember watching it on a laptop on the floor of our friend's apartment and being like, this is so genius. So then a couple years later to get this email, I was like, this is mine to lose.
Meant to be. Correct. 100%.
And I met Tony in that audition room.
Oh my
How
God.
spooky is that?
You didn't start dating then, did you?
No, we didn't start dating for several years. Like this was we were both just so professional about it, which sounds like
hello.
But we really were,
Yes.
because it was it was a big job for him at the time. It was I wanted it so bad. It was so important to me, and I was also in the zone of I had like memorized a 12-minute song and all of this, and so I remember him, and he remembers me from that angle. And
Yeah.
I was one of the first auditions, and he was like blown away. I'll say it.
Yes.
He was blown away
Yes.
by me.
Obviously.
And there were several callbacks and stuff. And then I ended up working with Dave, and then they both cast me in it. And on the set for that, Dave pitched me the show, Dave. And I said, can I audition for it? And he went, yeah, I mean, you're one of the best actors I know, I guess. And, cut to 4 or 5 years later, he sold it to FX and I got to audition for the show.
Well, in doing my research for this too, Dave premiered March 4th, 2020. Excuse me? Nothing going on during that time. I did not remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the show. I remember it fondly. I mean, the pandemic broke all of us in every which way, but also just the timing of that. I had forgotten. What a wild, wild time. So you get the part as of Allie.
Yeah.
Tony, did he direct the pilot?
So he did, but we started dating a couple years before this.
Okay, you did.
Or, excuse me, he didn't direct the pilot. He's directed, I believe, the most episodes of Dave, but not the pilot. The pilot and the second episode were Greg Mottola.
Okay, amazing.
I think the first day, in fact, of season 1 of Greg Mottola, and that was like such a gift to work with him. Tony and I had been dating for about, I don't remember how long, when I auditioned for the pilot of Dave and subsequently booked it. And then the show got picked up over a year later. And so we had been together for a while when that show started, and that was the first time we went back to working together, but as real partners.
Yeah.
And, it's a dream. We've done it so much ever since.
So the experience of doing Dave, that is to me where you kind of are really shot out of a cannon,
of course.
right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of eyeballs on that show. If memory serves, your manager, Ari, called me during the pandemic and was like, I would love you to have a general. So we Zoomed. Yep. And I was like, you're awesome. I just like had you in my mind as someone I really wanted to work with. Adam Steekiel and I are figuring out who is going to play the role of Amanda in our movie, Let's Have Kids.
Yes.
Amanda is married to KJ Appa's character, Rob, who is Karen Gillan's character's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We had initially, and I'm going to weave in a little bit because we actually finally, we have a release date for this movie. I'm so excited. And now we can sort of start our full court press of talking about it and everything. So excited. But I remember when we were casting, and when I thought of you, I was like, well, that's the only person who can play this part, because you are so unbelievably comedically gifted. And KJ Appa is an excellent actor.
Oh, yeah.
We needed someone who could go toe to toe with him. And that one specific scene, but just your chemistry. So you come up into Portland, which also is a city that holds a very special place in your heart and Tony Yasenda's heart, and is where you got engaged. And you had spent a lot of time in Portland. What he was making, correct me if I'm wrong, American Vandal?
Yes, season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was up in Portland.
Yes.
And then there's so much like weird magic in Let's Have Kids. One of our line producers, who didn't end up being the full line producer, was Joe Hardesty, who was on American Vandal. And that is why he was like, where would be good to shoot this? Portland. Great crews, great people.
Hardesty.
I know. So funny. So then
Hardesty's wife, Heather, rescued Fredo.
Stop it right now.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
just had to,
my God. This
connective tissue was crazy. Physically picked him up.
I need a moment. Oh my
Rescued
God.
him.
Oh, Heather.
Yeah,
I know.
she's-
Doesn't she have the coolest name ever? I still haven't met her, but he would tell me because they were expecting, I think, their second kid when we were working together. And then he got pulled onto a really great job that he couldn't turn down. So he had to jump off of our movie. And then we were already ensconced in Portland. And I mean, as you know, I am obsessed with Portland. What you brought to that character, Adam and I were just talking about this the other day. When Adam and Ellie wrote the script, we were initially going to make it for a much bigger budget. So there were many more scenes featuring your character.
Mm-hmm.
There was more of a backstory. And then when we were faced with the, okay, you got to back this into a number if you want to get it made, here we are. So a lot of that just inevitably came out and wasn't even in a draft that you had read.
Yeah.
And you brought so much specificity, my favorite word whenever I'm talking about a character, but really so much specificity to her in a role that could have been Rob's wife. You really made her your own, and you
hear that, Fredo?
Fucking knocked it out of the park. I remember when we were in post, and because have you seen the movie yet?
No.
Oh my God.
Becky, I haven't seen the movie
yet. You're going to
yet.
lose your mind. There is it is the quickest moment that we like laid our bodies down to make sure it didn't get cut. It's just a look that you give and you just nailed it. We finally have a release date, April 24th. I cannot wait. So I'm going to have now, I've had some of the cast on already on the podcast. I'm going to have the rest of them in the lead up to that.
What a great cast.
So
oh my God.
Can you even?
Yeah,
I know.
it's stupid.
So most of your scenes were with Sam Richardson, Karen Gillan, KJ Appa. Then you have this great moment with Max Greenfield at the baby shower.
Yeah, silly.
I mean, and then Zoe Chow wanted me to say hi because we were Zooming the other day and catching up.
That's so cool.
Remember we had that dinner in Portland where we were talking. Karen was telling us all about her wedding.
Girls' dinner.
Oh, it was so fun.
No,
oh my
that
God.
was heaven in that cast. Working with you, everything was a big pinch me, and I was like, you just gotta act like you fit in, girl, and tried my best. So
you were so
all
good.
Of this praise, couldn't be eating it up more.
You're so professional. I remember I came to see you in your trailer the day that your first day of shooting. And I took a picture of you, and then we texted Tony together, and you were like, Tone, lots happened since I've seen you, Tone.
Yeah.
Because you guys, I mean, you are constantly
We're usually
on location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It was amazing. I'm going to find that picture and put it on my Instagram when this episode comes out. It's amazing.
Sometimes I see those photos in my camera roll and I'm like, oh my God, it's alarming. It looks so believable. And then once you're in it for a while and you're kind of looking in the mirror like, ooh,
you're like,
this gets in your head.
This is kind of cute.
It's wild.
I don't hate this.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
There were also so many in the fitting. There were so many bellies because
all of the different sizes. Yes.
They were so fun to play bongos on. They were so fun. They were so realistic. It was a real trip.
Erin Orr, our brilliant costume designer, she had gotten all of these different sizes of bellies, and obviously for one of the other cast members too. Well, actually many of the other cast members, but more on that later.
I just can't wait.
I can't wait too.
Loved it since I read it. I loved everything. I was privileged enough to get to see while I was there, and like, it's a movie for me. Like it's really for me.
1,000%.
So I've not been wanting to bug you, but I'm like, and people, family, friends are asking me about it all the time.
I'm so excited.
So I'm so thrilled. Yay! April can't come soon enough.
April 24th. It is about it's just life. And this is also why dudes love it too, because Adam really was great about getting a real, dude perspective. So like, I can't wait for Tony to see it too. What Sam Richardson and Max Greenfield and KJ are able to do there.
Exactly. It's so like great. Those characters are also so full and rich and funny and have they're coming from different places. And it's like, it's just, I really genuinely, I can't wait. I'm so excited to see this.
It's amazing.
And it feels like we shot it so long ago. I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, what were my lines? And that's exciting. I love that.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
We've done a couple screenings. And so I know Max and Karen have seen it. I think
it was in Ireland during it.
Exactly. Which is a perfect segue,
why.
actually,
to
the next thing I wanted to talk to you about, which is you are now starring on what is really one of the only shows on network television, the only comedies that is really working, is really good, and that people are loving. It's called Going Dutch. You and Denis Leary.
Yeah.
God, I'm such a Denis Leary fan.
Yeah, dude. Same, get in line.
Right?
Yeah.
And what the chemistry that you have, you play his daughter.
Yes.
So will you tell us, set the scene, what is Going Dutch about?
Yeah, so what's fun about it is a workplace comedy, but then it's also this family comedy because it centers around an estranged father-daughter relationship. And because Dennis's character is this highly decorated colonel in the army and has traveled all over the world and has like been away, his adult daughter, who is also in the army, cut him off years ago because it was just deep. She's just over it. She's been in therapy and she's like, I'm setting a boundary. In the pilot, we learn that the colonel has really pissed off some of the higher ups, is caught like sort of making fun of them. And to punish him, they sent him to the world's least important army base where his estranged daughter is the captain. And that is in the Netherlands. It's based on a real army base.
Yeah.
Which is some army bases are just service bases. They do laundry for surrounding bases. They will provide food or housing, like all of this. It's just a non-combat base.
Yes.
Which is his worst nightmare as this like war-hungry, crazy guy who only cares about his career. And the pilot is, of course, he arrives and he doesn't know that his daughter, Me, is the captain. And they are forced to work together on this like island of misfit toys army base.
Yes.
And the show proceeds to be about him bringing like an old school perspective, mine bringing the new school, and our really delicious cast of characters who are all in the army for different reasons.
Yeah.
Lacey Mosley is in it. She's brilliant. Danny
She's
Pudi
so
is
great.
obviously like unbelievable.
And your
Pumpkin.
chemistry is so good with Danny.
Oh, I love to hear that.
No, you guys there is a Jim and Pam thing happening. The relationship you have with Dennis, how you guys play off of each other. Talk about going toe to toe with someone.
But here's the thing. It's so them. Like they're such pros. Like, and Dennis is an actor's actor, and he is so supportive and creative, and really creates an environment where everybody can ad lib and pitch and play. And I mean, Danny Pudi is like just one of those people who is spectacular in every way as a human being, and also brilliant, generous actor. And so just getting to be in a room with them, I find myself releasing to their energy, and then all of that happens. It's like, it doesn't feel like toe to toe. It feels like I'm being swept up in their whole tornado of goodness.
That's so, I mean, for that to be the experience when you and I both know that's not often the experience behind the scenes of things.
No.
That's incredible. The show is so smart. So my friend Hillary Winston came on for second season to be the co-showrunner, right?
Yes.
She's so fantastic. We went to college together. She's actually going to come do the pod.
She's
shortly.
brilliant.
I'm
She's
such
so
a fan.
funny. We were so lucky to get her. And Danny knew her from Community.
Yes, that's
so
right.
It's like, and
that's
she
right.
Also did forensics in high school, which I also did. So we
No big
bonded
deal.
over that a little bit.
I love it.
And she was such a great addition. She's so funny.
She's
and
so great.
brilliant and like kind and sweet. And
Joel Church Cooper is the showrunner and creator, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and he did Brockmire, which is where a lot of that sort of like harder humor comes from on our show. It's a lot of why Dennis is so compatible. It's like they've created a really cool voice. And Joel is such a good dad. And he infuses a lot of his thoughts and feelings and discoveries about fatherhood into our relationship. So while it's like, I mean, it's a network sitcom. It can't get like too heavy, but there's a real like authenticity that he brings that I think is a real secret sauce.
100%. And I think, that's where also like you have Catherine Tate on there, you have Joe Morton on there, like you have incredible actors surrounding, even if they are recurring, right?
Yeah.
What you convey on your face in terms of Dennis and how you feel about him as a father, but also the like letting him back in. And then like, I really care about them and their relationship. And that's hard to do.
Talk dirty to me. I love the show so much. It's really just like such an unbelievable job. It's unreal.
And you guys shoot in Ireland.
We do. Well, I remember when I was shooting Dave, which does shoot here in LA, that a handful of people would say to me, like, you don't know how lucky you are. You get to go sleep in your own bed at night. You get to work in LA. You're shooting on location. It's great. And I loved it, but that was my first show, my first series regular job.
Yeah.
And I was just like, of course, I moved to LA to be an actor. And shows are here.
Exactly.
And, ever since, I have almost exclusively worked out of California, let alone Los Angeles. So it is a very different experience. I love getting to be in Europe, working in Europe. Like it's such a learning opportunity. It's so romantic. It gives me so much perspective. I've learned so much. I'm really fortunate that, I miss Fredo more than anything.
100%.
Because he can't FaceTime with me. He can't,
which is
talk
annoying.
to me.
Like, Fredo, I feel like you're capable and like... Okay.
Get on the horn.
Yeah.
But Tony gets to come. I've had my parents visit. My brothers have visited. And,
That's so great.
And it's and then I get to come back, and it's great. It's a real, what's it called again when it's like a drought or a what?
Oh, feast or famine.
Yes. It's this whole industry, and we've both found ourselves in feast or famine, and like it's to be working at all is spectacular. To have all of these different things about the show that are really unique and special that, in other universes can also be challenges.
You have such a good attitude. And you, I mean, again, I saw this up close. You are such a pro. So even you telling the story of how, like, very professional the first number of times you met Tony.
Because look, we both also are like, it's so not cute to be an actor and a director dating. We both were like so resistant to it at first. We're like, this is so cliche. And like someone had told him 8 by 10, just a friend. And is a phrase that like it's really not even relevant anymore because we don't print friggin' headshots.
No.
But at the time I was like, oh my God, yeah. And even I was, it's just amazing. Such a cliche, and fortunately it's the best. It helps us really understand each other. We love working together when we get to, and
that's amazing.
It's better. It's more good than bad. There's also challenges of it, of course.
For sure.
It does help that, like I said earlier, because we met working and we got to see that version of each other and understand how much our careers are a priority in our whole being.
Totally.
That is such a key to understanding each other.
I couldn't agree more. And it's really interesting. Matt and I have figured out almost like a hybrid. Some of what you're saying really resonates with me. And then I will also, and this is all my fault, but we met when we were both assistants and, really young and like had 3 pennies to our name and came up together in the business. And he's a producer, and now he's, has this company where they're financing movies also. And we will touch upon really briefly, because both of his movies are going to South by Southwest. And you have a movie going to South by Southwest, which all roads lead back to Let's Have Kids, starring you and Dustin Milligan, who is married to Amanda Crew, who plays Bella in the movie. Oh my God.
Let's Have Kids.
No words. So Matt and I, we hadn't worked together, and it was 2008. I was a studio executive at MGM. He was a producer. He was working with Sean Bailey, who had his own production company at the time before he went to run Disney. So they came into MGM and pitched an idea, and we then were working together on a project for about a year. And I'm the problem, it's me. I found it really challenging to work together. Like the separation, and we didn't have kids at this point. And so there wasn't overly complicated like feelings or like priorities. But I remember we were married and we had dinner and we were arguing about like a plot point in Act 2. And I was like, you're just wrong. And he's like, would you ever speak to another producer that way? And I was like, I'm a monster and you're right. So I feel like deeply grateful that we both work in this business, have like incredible empathy for each other and understand. But also I am like church and state. Like I don't want to work with you because I want to stay married, because I don't
love that you discovered this and you know 100%. This. And like, it's only through trial and error. And like, if you were trying to force it, be like, well, no, we're married. So we're always going to be working together. And you just know like, it's totally. This isn't where we're going to thrive, and the best way for us to support each other.
I feel again, deeply grateful, and it's me. Like, I don't trust myself to be able to like separate out like, okay, we need to sign one of our kids up for this, and then he has an orthodontist appointment, but also what's happening in that plot point in Act 2, and this asshole we just talked to today, right? Like, it's
I can't imagine how hard that would be. That's so complicated.
So I feel like it keeps us clean.
Love this.
But
love that.
Yes. And so I like never say never, but I love hearing that you guys, because also you worked together before you were a couple.
Yes.
And so then you also got to grow into that. And almost baby step in too.
Yeah.
Because before Dave, you were dating.
Yes.
So it
and
wasn't...
we worked together on American Vandal season 2. But, you know, it's not without its challenges.
No.
It's really hard to audition for your husband. I complain, but, you know, it's so much harder for him. I think it's a really...
I get that.
And it's not just me. I mean, I think I'm probably number one on the call sheet of this problem, but he has so many friends and in family who are talented actors. And there is a lot of pressure that comes with that. And he's so supportive. He believes and champions so many people, no one more than me. But I don't envy being in his position when, you know, he's producer testing for a series regular on his show, and it's him, the other actor, all these producers, and his wife comes in the room. Like, how are we? And we don't get
Who's next?
And this happens like once a year, so it's not a thing that we're practicing a lot. And the circumstances are different every time. I've auditioned for him on Valentine's Day.
I mean, happy fucking
crazy.
Valentine's Day.
And he actually...
Did you get the part?
I did. Yeah, I think I did.
You did.
Well, what's funny too is he was like, I did one of the scenes, and then he was like, great, moving on. And I was like, you don't want to give me any direction?
Oh, are we?
I wanted to, I was like, show them that I can take direction. It's like, here I am. Like, obviously I would never, it's just such a weird.
It is, right?
It's such a dance.
Well, exactly. And as Matt was saying, like, you'd never talk to another producer like that. Like, would you have asked another director for feedback? Maybe you would have. Like, you sure, but probably not.
Probably not.
If, like, the director was so confident in the performance that they were moving on,
I would be happy about it.
And you would have heard it differently. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're thinking about different things. I'm learning and we're getting better at it. But it's
also a practice.
I do feel for him and everybody who is also in the room who has to be like, okay, I guess now we'll talk about Tony's wife.
That is the thing. The behind the scenes of what happens after an actor leaves the room, that producers and directors and casting directors know what those conversations are. And obviously there's no like secret code to it, but it is, of course, a powwow of what do we think?
Yeah.
And if that is your spouse.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, you know, fortunately, the couple of times it's happened in recent years, it's like I've earned my way of getting there. I always have.
100%.
And so there's never been a question of like, we have to do this because Taylor's here, but I'm positive that I'm just sure that for so many people who want to say a reason they don't think I'm right, which is going to happen all the time.
Yes, that's the nature of it.
That is weird for them and whatever, but it's also not foreign to people. Tony handles it with a lot of grace.
Okay. I think we will be able to keep this in the episode, but you'll tell me if we have to cut it out.
Yeah.
But you told me as you walked in about a very, very exciting thing that you are going to be doing. Mm-hmm. I love this show so much. Tires on Netflix.
Tires on Netflix.
Holy shit. McKeever, who is, the co-creator with Shane.
Yes.
It is set in Philly. Mm-hmm. It is filmed in Philly.
Yep.
It is so funny. It is one of my favorite shows of the last few years. I have been like stalking McKeever because not only does he not live out here, he lives on the street I grew up on, that my mom still lives in that house. We figured this out when we were Zooming about something else because I was coming on to produce a pilot prior to going to Miramax. I was attached to produce something for him. And he was like, we figured, I was like, so where in Philly are you? And he was like, oh, you probably haven't heard of it. This Abington, but really I'm in Jenkintown. And I was like, where? Because I'm from Abington, but I'm from Jenkintown specifically. And he tells me what street he lives on. And I was like, so if you go out of your house and you walk 100 yards, there's my house. So I was like, if you see my mom and my stepdad out, they take walks a lot in the neighborhood. He did. He went up to them and was like, hi, are you Becky's mom? How funny is that? Regardless of my long preamble about that, you are going to be on the new season of Tires.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Say more.
Well, what's so fun about this, look, the job is auditioning. I audition a lot and rarely book. And so it's like, it was really special to get this tape the very beginning of 2026. I think it's my first audition of the year.
Okay.
And, it's a love interest of Shane Gillis. I also love the show. I love the whole, and that
so good.
The rhythm of that show is a lot of the same sort of improv that is in both Dave and Going Dutch. Like, I never expected this, but so much of what I do is improv.
Yes.
And so and working in that world is like my dream improv situation. So I taped the audition with two of my friends, and I joked. I was like, I mean, if they don't cast me, that's malpractice.
Right.
And it just felt, you could feel when auditions feel really fun. And I wanted it so badly. And sometimes that can add this like little tinge of, frankly, desperation to the vibe of the tape.
Sure.
I can say that about myself. I've seen it. Or there's just something, if you're not fully connected, there is another percentage that's like, it's not totally there.
Yep.
And you got to nail it to be cast, man. Like, it's so impossible to be cast. So after sending it in, I was just feeling really good about the year. I was like, what a treat to get to audition for something like that I love, to feel really good about a tape, all these things. I'm not going to book it, but I feel great. And then I booked it.
Oh my God. Which I have to say is like, you released it, the energy, and well, also, even if you had been like, I am going to book it, and that, like, whatever, you were still going to book it because you're so fucking good and you're meant to be on this show. And by the way, you literally, like, they can cast you as a local.
Yeah.
You are literally going to sleep in your own bed there.
I'm going to stay in my own place. I'm going to stay in my own place. Yeah. I was like, because they could put you up in the area that they shoot.
Like,
and I was like,
why?
Can I just have a rental car? Because I don't have a car over there.
Yeah.
And, it's a guest star, so I'm not working every day. I was like, can I just have a rental car and I'll drive?
And I can hang out and go to Vetri for dinner. And there we are. Oh my God. This is going to be amazing.
It's just a dream job in so many ways. I'm really excited to be with that crew. I love the show. I love the whole tone of the show. And it just was a great way to like kick off the year. It's also a very different type of show than Going Dutch right now. So it's a really fun, it feels in so many ways like I'm diversifying, and also not at all. I'm like, I'm another girlfriend from Philly. Like, that's like my whole shtick.
If the shoe fits, and at the same time, that's what's actually good. Like, it's a guest star. Yeah. You can drop in and then
where do you need me?
Exactly. Oh, this is going to be amazing.
I adore I love so much working on Going Dutch. And that's a set where I feel so respected, so creatively involved. And I'm so invested in that show. My God, that every little thing, every department, every conversation, like, I'm there every day, all day, all of that. And that is just a dream come true. And when it wraps, I realize how exhausted I am, but like how happy, but how exhausted. And we only wrapped recently. So to have this first job going into the new year, be that guest star.
Yes.
What a treat to see this other end of it where I want to show up and go, how is the best way I can serve your guys' show? But if there's like an issue with the prop or there's something, it's like, not my circus, you guys.
Exactly.
I'll help solve any problems that you need, but like, it's not really my thing. And I'm so excited to learn from watching that team make their show and then be able to bring all of that back to my set and be like, okay, well, I saw McKeever like solve this problem this way and et cetera.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so great. And again, talk about people that you can go toe to toe with. That is going to be, they are so funny. I love that show.
And the area is like so proud of it. Like when I told my in-laws, like they couldn't have, they were like,
oh, that's right. Wait, you were supposed to go on a vacation for your mother-in-law's
birthday.
Okay.
We were going to have this whole long weekend, but they joked, they were like, this is the best birthday gift ever because they live in the area. They like, the crew is local. They like love it. Couldn't have been a better pick for them too. So,
but she wasn't even like the least bit mad. She was like, this is actually the best news ever. Great. We'll reschedule.
She was like low-key more excided than me. It was so great. It's just like
Mrs. Ucenta.
It's so great. So that was just also, there's so many parts of it that are really a dream come true. It's bananas.
It's meant to be.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm looking forward to that. It feels so funny to be talking about it before I'm doing it.
I know, totally.
I was excited because I saw this on the calendar. I leave this weekend to go. I'm like, I get to like talk to Becky about it and this, as an actor, you're only in this moment very rarely. Like, where you
exactly
and it's great. It makes everything. I'm at Ralph's. Like, I have work this weekend. Like, it's so rare that you get to do that. You're either working or you're not working.
And I was talking, I think, to Randall Park about this. He was like, I will forever have the struggling actor mindset. You are either working or when you're not, it's very hard to not let the doubt creep in of like, but there will be something around the corner, right? you never know.
You just
and so
don't know.
this is like a blissful moment.
Oh, it's spectacular.
So
and also, to be frank, like when I was working on Dave, which was a show where the seasons were very far apart from shooting. It
Yeah.
wasn't like we were on a release schedule like a show like Going Duchess, which is such a fast turnaround. I had such a dry spell. And it went from, it's just a roller coaster of going, it's a gift that I'm on a show and I know eventually I'll go back and do this season, but having all this time that I could have been working, getting no's and no's and no's season after season and year after year. And then honestly, the same spring that you offered me the part in Let's Have Kids, a whole abundance started happening that year.
Really?
And that's when, it really just was part of a whole cycle that really saved my whole perspective. And now I've looked back and been like, Taylor, you can't be that down on, because it will happen again.
Yeah.
And you have to just trust the process, like the Sixers, and you have to know that it's feast or famine and not let it reflect back on my own self-esteem. And it's pretty impossible to do that. But that's my new little mantra is right now I'm on this high of the roller coaster and I know the little dip is coming, but you can do it and you can deal.
Exactly. And the fact that that is really like a huge part of the career you've chosen, I just have a lot of empathy for it.
That perspective and that empathy is so palpable in people you work with. It's so evident when I got the chance to work with you, which was such a gift. And you could feel that understanding and appreciation means a lot and gives,
thank you.
I think it gives a lot of actors, but I can speak for myself, a lot of safety. And that is such a gift in a job where we don't often feel safe and secure. And when you get to work with people who, people say all the time, like, I love actors, but there's people who really do love actors. And you're one of those people. And having that the way you see me and us is like,
I did not pay you to say that, but maybe. Oh my God. But thank you.
I really, sure everybody would say 100%. That, but it makes a big difference.
I think that's why. And, you were not there for run of show, but you were there for a lot of it. I think you could feel that was magic on that set.
Yes.
It was every single person.
Yes.
And again, it was not luxurious.
It was luxurious. You made it luxurious.
But, we had no money, but it was really just, as like I believe in treating actors a certain way. And there's also, it was just like wonderful vibes. Adam killed it, like every cast member. And again, regardless of how large the part was. So I'm so happy to hear that because when Amanda Crew was here, she was the very first episode of the podcast.
Yes.
She's one of my closest friends and we will go so deep and talk about vulnerability and all of it. But she's had something similar to say in terms of when she did that job, then a lot of others, it was like energetically, it opened up some things.
You're like a good luck Chuck over here, Becky. Okay.
Exactly.
Next time I'm not working for a while, I'm going to be like, Becky.
I have a friend who is coming to do the podcast and has had to reschedule twice because she keeps getting booked for jobs. And she's like, I didn't know all I needed to do was
book with you.
Podcast.
Yeah. See?
And we keep moving it. And I'm like, I'm here for you. Thrilled. And now we've gotten to the part of the podcast, Last Looks, which is a segment we do at the end of each podcast. It is pop culture questions focused on 4 specific things.
Yep.
So
I'm ready. It's so much pressure.
By the way, everyone is like,
I know. I love the questions.
A lot of people have told me like, I just read this book that so-and-so recommended. My husband the other day was like, I'm reading this book that Randall Park recommended. I was like,
I downloaded the National app because of Adam Shapiro's episode. Yeah.
Oh my God. So first question, movies.
Yes.
What is either your favorite movie of all time or a few movies that you love and feel are representative of your taste?
I've had a top 3 for my entire adult life. And it is True Romance, Goodfellas, and Face Off. And look.
Right? Oh my God.
Oh, you see me.
I see you so hard. Castor Troy?
No, I have to tell you. So that is a film. My parents were, but at the time, my mom really said it as like we don't believe in a censorship sort of vibe in the house. If you see something, you should be able to ask us about it. And looking back, I'm like, girl, you just wanted to watch The Sopranos. Like, you just wanted to do that.
Call it what it is.
But it means it's great because I have seen so much more than I should have.
Yes.
And I saw, Goodfellas at a really young age, and I saw Face Off at a very young age, and True Romance. All of these I've seen before I was like 10. And Face Off, I recall, I loved John Travolta, I still do. Nick Cage, I was also obsessed with like Moonstruck and stuff. But when you're a little kid, when I was a little kid watching, when they switched characters,
Yes.
I was like, oh my God,
Like,
they're
this
so
is
good
acting.
at acting.
Yes.
And I still do.
Yeah.
I know those
It's
characters are
defensible.
heightened.
You're right. Yes.
But when they switch, you feel it. Their faces are off and they are different. John Travolta like leaning against the cell door when they open in Nicolas Cage. It's so good. And I remember that being one of the first times I was so enamored with acting.
With the craft.
Instead of just watching the movie because I loved the movie. I loved that I was really curious about their performances. And also it's just a spectacular, fun, cheesy action movie that I love. It makes me so happy. It really holds up. I adore that movie. And then True Romance.
Alabama Whirly.
Alabama.
Oh,
yeah.
so good.
When I moved here, I had a beta fish and I named him Clarence.
Oh, you did? Oh, I love it. That movie, incredible. Tarantino. Like,
yes. But I think what's perfect about that movie, what's fun is like having loved it for so long, I've been able to understand it in different ways, having watched it now for over 2 decades.
Yeah.
And it has a really unique sincerity because it's written by Tarantino, but it's directed by Tony Scott.
Yes.
So it's,
Yes.
Top Gun and all of these big
Man on
like,
Fire. Yes, we were
Yes.
just talking about him with Joe Carnahan the other day. Yes, incredible.
Brilliant.
Incredible.
And those films have this real like directness to it and a real sincerity to it that, you know, a Quentin Tarantino script isn't really meant to have.
Yeah.
And that gives True Romance this really funky feeling
Yes.
where the characters are so absurd but taking themselves so seriously. The way that it's shot has just this like yummy 90s feel and all the
Yes.
violence is very violent. It's not as stylized as the way that that Tarantino might have intended.
Exactly.
So it's just interesting for me to then see like, oh, this is such a unique piece because of the difference in writing and direction. And I think it's perfect. I think those performances
I
are perfect.
Agree more. Brad Pitt. How about the Brad Pitt cameo?
Yes.
Gary Oldman. Forget it.
Yeah,
You're
unreal.
I don't think we've shown our kids yet. We also, I mean, our kids are going to say the same thing you say, which is like, okay, so you guys just wanted to watch fill in the blank.
Yeah.
But it's actually so fun. And now they're almost 13 and 16. So like now I'm like, all bets are off. We can watch anything.
Yeah.
I don't think we've shown them that, and I haven't seen it in a while, but it holds such a special place in my heart. Did you like drive to the Safari Inn when you got out here just to like see? Like there it is.
Yeah.
I know. It's such an LA movie.
Yes.
And the
that's
performances.
also true too. I haven't even like that's so true.
Yeah.
I just am so enraptured by it every time I see it, and I think it's everything that I love a movie to be.
And then Goodfellas. So you're basically,
yeah.
What a dream human you are that those are. Was Tony Yacenda like, I mean, look at my girl.
We do
Amazing.
I have a real, I'm like the guy you dated in college who has a Pulp Fiction poster on his wall.
Yes.
Like that's me. And then it's also Tony. When we moved in
Exactly.
together, we both had the collectible DVD versions of the Godfather series. Hence Fredo.
Hence
Fredo.
Next question, music.
Mm-hmm.
Desert Island albums. You are stranded on a deserted island.
Yeah.
You're going to be rescued. You're not there for like years and years and years.
Okay.
But you have 2 albums with you to help maintain your sanity until you are rescued. What are those 2 albums?
From Under the Cork Tree, Fall Out Boy. Big Fall Out Boy girl. And I love every single one of their albums, but I think that's the one that like, yeah, just no skips. It's perfect.
And did it hit you? You were in high school?
Yeah, I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is also where we are really deciding our musical taste.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And I'm also a big musical theater girl. My second album is Legally Blonde original Broadway cast. So if I'm on a desert island, it's got the sad songs. It has a workout song. I would stay fit. It has inspiring songs. Like it would help me like stay in like a good mental health state. I'd be able to sing along to it.
You saw it on Broadway.
I have actually not seen it on Broadway.
Wait, how did this get into your bones?
I'm just such a like Broadway baby that like I listen to new releases, and that also came out when I was in high school, and I love Legally Blonde the movie.
Of course, perfect.
I've seen it. They did an MTV reality show, Searching for the Next Elle Woods. I've seen tapes of the Broadway show.
Amazing.
One day I'll see it. That whole album, if you listen to, is spectacular.
Oh, that's incredible.
So that I would definitely bring. And yeah, Fall Out Boy, when I started listening to them, because like everybody else, I heard like Sugar We're Going Down or Dance Dance. the rest of the album is so unbelievable. Patrick Stump has like the most underrated voice in the game. His riffs and the affectations he has to his voice, his range is unbelievable. And so coming from someone who at the time was only listening to Broadway soundtracks and, you know, also being an angsty teenager, going into this now Fall Out Boy world, that was really the bridge, was like his vocals. And I've been just obsessed with them ever since. I've seen them like 5 or 6 times.
I'm not abundantly familiar with Fall Out Boy, but I love Sugar We're Going Down, and now you're making me want to explore that album.
Yeah. I love the whole album.
Under the Cork Tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
amazing.
It's funny, you know, I do love them so much, and Tony kind of teases me for it. And then I went with my manager, Ari Lubet, to see them. They're from Chicago, to see them in Wrigley Field in Chicago. And this was something where like I dropped everything to go. It was like seeing the Pope at the Vatican. I worship them so much, and I was like, obviously, I'm dropping everything. I'm flying to Chicago. I have to see them. And Tony was free, and I was like, please come. And he's like, well, okay, I'll go. He gets there. They have obviously sold out Wrigley Field. There's so many people there who are so happy. And Tony's turning around going, I can't believe there's so many of you. It was crazy. And then the concert starts.
Take that shit out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need that energy.
Good taste in music. Like he's
a
when he comes
Springsteen
on the
person.
pod. I'm
Yes.
a Springsteen person too.
Are you?
I'm huge.
Have you listened to Streets of Minneapolis, which was released this week?
Oh no.
He wrote it Saturday, recorded it Sunday, released it Monday, something like that.
On the way home.
You will. It is incredible.
Yeah.
I've been listening to it on repeat. He's such a hero. I love him so much.
I'll text you after.
But yes. So you do also have Springsteen love, etc.
Springsteen was on the list of like albums I might bring, or LCD Sound System. Amanda brought up Fred Again. The last Fred Again album was like my favorite. But that's just like how I would design my weeks on that island. It's like I have to go Fall Out Boy.
Yes.
And to be fair, Tony, once the concert happened, Tony was like sold. Like then he was, because
that's the best.
Yeah. Then he was, this is an unbelievable show.
A convert.
They're so good. There's way more. They're so beyond like they're sort of like singles that people know them for. Like it's a community. So that would definitely come to the island.
We're all fans. I keep coming back to this. Like on almost every pod, something comes up. Like I'm such a fan of so many things, but I feel like to be an artist in any capacity, writer, director, actor, it really doesn't matter. It's also to be a fan. And
what a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I love
sometimes it's just there's something about that sound that they made that I was like, done.
Yeah.
sold.
Like hits you. I have a few bands like that. Do you know this band, The Gaslight Anthem?
No.
They're New Jersey based. They descend from Springsteen.
Okay.
Much like The Hold Steady, which is another of my favorites. They descend from Springsteen too. Pete Yorn, like they all have that sort of like a similar sound. But there is something about Brian Fallon, the lead singer's voice, that is like cut to my heart. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. I love them so much.
Love.
And in if you know, you know. But again, like sort of a smaller band. And Fall Out Boy, obviously hugely successful. But now I'm like excited to go explore this. Because of your passion for them.
Oh, I'm excited for you. And if you don't connect, that's great too.
To each their own.
Because people do think that they know them. And I'm like, no, you don't.
No, nice try though. I know. Oh, you're a like Christmas and Easter fan?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
No. You're casual.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Okay. Third question. Books. What is either your favorite book of all time or a book you've read recently that you would recommend?
Okay. I read a lot. So I've been thinking on my drive over here about a couple recent titles that really hit me. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt.
Okay.
It is so good.
Oh, this is a recent one that you've read.
It's a recent one.
Do you Audible or do you read?
I do both. So this one I
me
read, and I try to do both. That means I can have more books at once. So
100%.
I'm always listening to a book and reading a book.
And
I
if you
read
have
that
to
one.
Schlep around LA and you're like, okay, I'll be in the car for 2.5 hours today round trip. Great.
Yeah.
Can't wait to read that.
Big old chunk of a book.
Totally.
Also, there was a study released recently that's like, it's the same thing. Like you read the book. People apologize for it a lot. They're like, well, no, I listened to it. I'm like, girl, you read the book. You read the book.
Correct. I remember getting into an argument with my brother-in-law about this 100 years ago. And I was like, yeah, I just read the Da Vinci Code. He's like, you didn't read it. You just listened to it. I was like, how dare you?
No, that's reading. I'll die on that hill.
Same.
I really do. Having now done both for a while. And I mean, I started audiobooks kind of recently, but it's the same.
Delightful.
My brain's doing all the things.
Delightful.
Yeah. And
Correct.
it's great.
We've gotten the information.
Remarkably Bright Creatures, Shelby Van Pelt. It is being adapted right now with Sally Field and a bunch of other brilliant actors. It's
Who's
just
better
a
than
really,
Sally Field?
No one.
Nobody.
It's such a touching story. It's I think incredibly well written. It sits in that nice place between like a quick read and still dynamic enough.
There's just something about a book.
Do you want to come up here, buddy?
Hey, bud.
Do you want to come up here and be cute?
There's something about a book that obviously I love movies, I love TV, I love music, but there's something about a book that I have that feeling sometimes where I'm like, I have to get back to these people. Like I miss these characters and that can't be replicated in anything other than a book. Is that how you felt about Remarkably Bright Creatures?
Yes. And it has a really cute animal in it.
Yeah, it does.
You want to go down?
Wait, can you show to the camera these treats? Philly cheesesteak.
I promise he really genuinely loves these. It's not just me doing a bit.
But also, we are who we are. God, I can't wait for us to get another dog.
Excited for you.
We're going to get one this summer. I'm like not quite ready yet, but like summer is what
coming. On the complete other end of the spectrum, I read Yellowface.
Oh,
have you heard of this?
My cousin Sarah just brought this up to me like 2 days ago.
Really cool read.
Yes.
It's just from the perspective of this really flawed character, which is like as an actor, somebody I always really want to play.
Yeah, totally.
A really exciting story about plagiarism that's just like kind of a interesting, just all the themes of it, and it's very current. That was really fun and dark and twisted. The other one is Good Company. Cynthia, I don't know how to say names like this. It's like a D and apostrophe.
Okay.
So it's DePrix. Sweeney is the author. She wrote The Nest, and she wrote In Good Company. She has a new book coming out called The Lake Effect. And she's one of my favorite authors. And In Good Company is really fun. It's about these adults who worked together at a theater camp, and now they're going back to the theater camp with their kids. So it's this multi-generational like drama.
Oh, I would love
She's
that.
a fantastic writer.
Yeah.
And I imagine I read that, but I imagine it'd be a really good audiobook.
Okay, last question. And then Fredo, we're going to take you out and then we're going to eat some lunch. TV. You have been on amazing TV shows. You are currently on amazing TV shows. I am curious, do you have a favorite show of all time, or what are you guys watching lately that you have plowed through and would recommend?
I cannot tell you how much I love Tell Me Lies. Have you heard of Tell Me Lies?
Of course. My friend Laura is one of the producers. I haven't watched it yet. I'm really missing out, right? This is like, I have friends telling me like, how have you not watched The Summer I've Turned Pretty? And like, yes.
I think, and I think that there's elements of this show that wouldn't work for some people, but for the people it's working for, honey, Tell Me Lies
Bullseye.
Is brilliant. It's every element, it is so captivating. It's the most surprising show I've ever watched.
Oh my God.
It is constantly weaving characters in and out of each other's lives. And just when you think that you've figured out what the surprise is going to be, the twist is going to be, like who is doing what to whom, it's different.
You don't.
And they set you up for these big surprises. And, for instance, it's currently on air. So season 3 is airing right now.
Yeah.
Season 2 ends on this big cliffhanger. And you think, okay, we're going to spend season 3 figuring this out.
Yeah.
No, they do it in the first episode of season 3. And then they launch into a bunch of other high stakes stuff that you're like, I can't keep up.
Wow.
I have friends who find it difficult to watch because it's so stressful for them.
Yes.
And it's exactly like Let's Have Kids. It's like for me,
Yes,
it tracks this group of friends going to college in 2008 and all of these like toxic relationships and friendships. And they're texting on Blackberries and stuff. Like,
I didn't even realize it was a period show. Okay.
Yes.
I am a terrible friend and have not watched it, but I hear great things and I'm so just happy for everyone involved.
Yeah.
I will definitely check this out. It's reminding me, did you watch Scandal when it was on?
Of course. Oh my God.
Exactly what you just described. I remember being like, oh, okay, so this will be like what they spend half the season. Nope.
No.
It's 3 scenes in the first episode. Shonda, I mean, the magic of Shonda and like just how they burn through story, because that is what's demanded now, right? Like you would
so hard to achieve.
So hard. And you probably would love Tell Me Lies, even if it was, okay, this is what it's going to take, because you must love the actors and the characters and all of it. But no, they are burning through story to keep you on your toes.
They really keep me on my toes. And
amazing.
The character development in it is so rich. I had friends over to watch the season premiere a couple weeks ago, and we sat in my living room discussing it like it was a book club for like hours, being like, what do we think? Like, Wrigley's journey has been so interesting. And do we think that this is coming from a place of honesty, or is he just like covering up? It's that show has just given me so much that I just and I watch a lot of reality TV because I get like jealous of some scripted shows I watch.
You're like, what am I going to say?
I'm like, what am I going to say? I'll get jealousy. Like that same thing of where was I that day?
Yeah.
Or I'm watching it through a lens of how did they shoot this? And it's just, I'm a tad bit removed from it. It's not total escapism, whereas reality TV is. Tell me lies, slaps me around. I am so present. I don't look at my phone. I am like, I'm taking notes to tell my friends is the only time I look at my phone.
I love it.
So they give me that gift. And I think, it's like, just like Fall Out Boy, it's probably not for everybody, but for the people it's for, they know, they're like,
this sounds great. I never know how to end this, so I'm going to get up and give you a hug. But
you always
we're going to hug.
I know.
Yes, no. Exactly. General Meeting with Becky Sloviter is hosted and executive produced by me, Becky Sloviter. Our editor is Jay Rothman. Our audio engineer and director of photography is Hector Fernandez. Our tech producer is Griffin Davis. And our theme music is by Jay Rothman. Special thanks to Tanya Dahl and Cody Blue Snyder. If you're enjoying this podcast, I would be so appreciative if you would subscribe or follow the show on whatever platform you get your podcasts. All of our episodes are on video as well on our YouTube channel at General Meeting Pod. Please consider subscribing there as well. And you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at General Meeting Pod, and more information is on our website, you guessed it, generalmeetingpod.com. Thank you, and most importantly, even though they're not in season anymore, go Birds.